Hello, I am Eternal Developing, the founder of Brick Defense and TES, and I am here to discuss the fall of the Brick Defense Empire. Yes. um, I'm just gonna be completely open and honest. I'm not reading from a script or anything. I'm just gonna be telling you exactly, point by point memory, what happened to Brick Defense. So basically, Brick Defense was almost kind of doomed from the start, okay? Um, in the past 3 years of its existence, there have been many, let's just say, a little mediocre scripters that, they basically made the entire code of the game just spaghetti, okay? It was all spaghetti. And because it was spaghetti, uh, it was virtually uncodable. We can't really fix anything. We can't even really add anything up until we discontinued the game because we couldn't do anything with it. Anytime we try to add anything new in the scripts, it broke for hours, even days, even back in 2024, when we try to add a singular function for adding in cool eggs, which kind of controversial. Adding in eggs, the hat eggs for the Easter egg thing in 2024. Well, that broke the game for almost, I think it was a month or two. It broke it for two-ish. It was late March to mid May. So yeah, almost 2 months. The game was broken and unplayable. Just from trying to add in simple things to make it so if you touched an egg, you got the hat. That broke the game for 2 months. Which is just crazy. Like, how does that break the game for 2 months? A simple egg thing. That shows how spaghettified the code is in BD. So we really couldn't then add anything, and also, the game is just dead. I really don't know how to say it. It was awesome back in around Christmas time of last year. It got to about 300 players, I believe, 300, 400 players. That was a miracle. I want to thank you guys so much for that. That absolutely made my year. It was awesome, but it also added a lot of stress onto the dev team about what do we do after the game goes back down, because typically in January it flatlines again. It's only during the holidays that the game is usually pretty active. So, and also after that huge, I wouldn't say huge, but that huge update that we made with every day, there's a skin and stuff, an update, that burnt us out. There's supposed to be more, but we couldn't even do about half of it because it was overwhelming, and we just didn't feel like doing it. Especially me, I was extremely burnt out from it, and I just didn't want to continue it anymore. It got to the point where it was more like indentured labor than actually having a fun game, working on it. It just felt like slavery almost. Which is a very bad analogy, but that's what I look at it in my mind. Pretty much just slavery to me. And yeah, it was not that fun at all. Um, and there are also a few other things that destroyed us. More or less, the reason the game got discontinued was just a lack of motivation and a lack of funds. We didn't have enough Robux to keep making awesome, huge updates. We also didn't have the motivation to make awesome, huge updates. Um, especially after January of 2024, we really didn't have any motivation or especially funds to do anything because we still haven't recovered since. And yeah, it just destroyed us. And with that, there's also been a bunch of, let's just say, bad actors in the developing scene. I've made very bad decisions with hiring some people onto the dev team that really just made the game worse. Now, I will admit there are a bunch of people that made the game awesome that are in a bit of controversy in the BD community. I will admit that. It's like their work was awesome, but their motivation for that work is not so awesome. Yeah. And they just, in the long haul, it just kind of made the game, well, it just made the game a little bad, you know? It just didn't make it that good after January, and we were basically screwed over after that. And yeah, so with all of that, and also especially this too, the balancing. That might seem kind of easy to redo, but it's impossible pretty much because there's so many towers, so many enemies, so many gimmicks. It's just, it takes so long to rebalance, and none of us have the motivation to do all of that. We've tried, and we failed multiple times. The farthest we got to rebalancing is when I did the Great Rebalance, and it wasn't that good. To be honest, I'm not a very good balancer. You guys can tell. But yeah, which is my fault. It's that bad. Just tried to do it and I kind of failed a little. Little's an understatement, but yeah. So yeah, with all of that taken into account, it just made it really, really, really hard to work on it. And it's been like this for years, honestly, but it's only gotten, like, it only got worse after 2024. It was just brutal. But I only really kept working on it to try and keep you guys happy with updates, but it kind of failed a little. So, with all of that, it's just really not worth it. I know I sound like a broken record, but yeah. It wasn't really worth it to work on the game anymore, so we decided to discontinue it on a particular 1-year anniversary. Some of you may know. If you know, you know. That's all I'll say. But yeah, that's pretty much the reasons why we discontinued this game. In a nutshell, it's just because of lack of funds and a lack of motivation. And the fact that it's virtually impossible to fix this game. And we are not remaking BD, by the way. We are not doing that. We're not making a BD2 for now, unless something happens. But for our plans, we are not making a second BD. What Tower Defense Games taught us is it sucks, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much the reasons. We are working on a pretty nice, cool game. No release date yet. It's going pretty slow, unfortunately. But yeah, it's being worked on, and I think it's going out pretty nice so far. It's far more easier to add stuff than BD, that's for sure. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you all for, supporting us for these 3 years. It means a lot to me and the dev team. that you guys have been supporting us for this long, and I hope to see you guys when we make the new game. We'll have leaks eventually and stuff like that. So see you guys later. Bye bye.